Hello, it's KRBrickBot, and I'm going into the Season 14 Hello Carbot, even though I have some 13 gems I haven't reviewed. Yeah, so this is the first new character, Life Axe. Yeah, just say go away, viruses. Yeah, there's the English name right on the side here as well. Nice to see that here. It's a nice glossy box. Thick glossy box, although I think it's kind of bulging. There's the flap on the top and the side, it's bulging out. Yeah, the back is, mostly the silver metal type of background with a bit of a sparkly star there, lying there. The robot mode, vehicle mode, and the weapon mode. Yeah, I guess this is the current axe styling that carries over to the front of the box. And to this side of the box, who can combine with Pentastorm axe. Bottom here, that's a November 23 release. CBA W4. And there's the advertisement for the cube that's compatible with the new Axe Watch. Yeah, so I went out and bought the new Axe Watch because, for the voice clips. And I don't have the old watch, and just like any hardware that needlessly invalidates the previous hardware to incentivize you to buy the new version, this new cube just adds a little bit of a raised bump on the top of the cube. Yeah, you see there, like the little bumps on the cube. Review of the Axe Watch. It is much more squarer now. The previous one was red and octagonal. This is white and square with the 4 color buttons. There's a nice, shiny, iridescent rainbow gradient in the axe. Axe there, blue Carbot symbol, molded Carbot symbol at the back, AAA battery, the Stance Carbot logo there. Adjustable watches with the axe style on here too. Yeah, so it attaches the way you expect. You can turn this around. Same summoning sound as always, the classic one. Yeah, this Carbot button is the sound switch button. And you eject by pulling on the trigger. Instead of like a button, so that's a bit more secure. Unfortunately, this thing has no lamp. No weak little lamp that projects a Carbot symbol at a close distance. I don't know. I don't know if you missed that feature. If you see with the new cube, it has a bump that adds, just to invalidate any of these new cubes from working with the old watch. And also invalidates them from using those storage boxes. But since only the bump was added for the new cubes, it is backward compatible with the old cubes at least. So if you have those lying around, you don't need the Axe Watch. The cardboard girdle. Oh, the R was sticking out that much for some reason. That's why it was bulging. Yeah, that should have been like that. Yep, there's the new cube. With a new bump on the top. It looks like the same hardware as the previous watches though. Just carefully lift that up. And then lift this one up too. Tissue packed car front. And tissue packed arms. The truck attaches through these palm clips, which fold over back like this.
난 카봇 역사상 가장 미스터리하고 신비한 카봇, 라이프 X야. 빛의 터널을 이용해 공간 이동하던 중 기억을 잃고 사라졌다가 뒷산의 X자 계곡에서 발견됐지. 나랑 접촉을 하면 뭐든지 조금씩 바뀌게 되는데 자탄의 시계는 물론 자탄의 집, 펜타스톰 X도 변해. 원래는 방역 트럭으로 소독약을 분사하기도 하고 더러운 것을 깨끗하게 만드는 능력이 있어. 성격은 까칠하고 도도한 고양이 성격으로 부탁을 받으면 일단 거절을 하지. 펜타스톰 X와 합체하여 오른손은 세니타이저 캐논으로 왼손은 쿼트로클로가 된다고. 어이, 어이! 세균, 곰팡이, 바이러스, 그리고 진드기와 벼룩 모두 물러거라. 내가 없애주겠다. 양손에 달린 파란색의 손톱에서 나가는 스카이블루 레이저. 소독약으로 더러운 것을 깨끗하게 만든다. 세니타이저 스프레이. 누구지? 내가 왜 여기에 있는 거지? 제발 내 기억을 돌려줘. 내가 왜? 그걸 왜 해야 되는데? 이유를 말해봐. 아, 그런 거라면 해줄 수도 있지. 그렇다고 마음이 내켜서 하는 건 아니란 사실.
I guess LifeX has a special containment unit worker look to him because of his role as a, sanitation cleaner. Pretty long silver legs, a nice tubing that goes across here. That's pretty smooth otherwise. This is very plain detailed, it's all silver with only the plastic red kneecaps. A little bit of tanks on here. Some nice silver painted detailing, mechanical detailing on here, and the little paneling on the outside. The more unattractive bits are on the outside of the legs. Pretty long toes. And those are pretty long legs and a pretty short stacked torso. Odd proportions there. Some inverted skirt flaps. The wheels on the inside, they don't go lower than that. Some nice decorated shoulders, a nice light blue. That only goes on the front, but not all the way across here or on the back. Bit unfortunate. Yeah, so it's a nice red painted shoulder details, although the dots here, they only carry over. They don't carry over. And they don't exactly match with the shoulders. It feels they're like two matching but dissimilar shapes. Pretty skinny forearms. Some red claw-like things on its forearms. Painted red. And his chest has a big old nozzle in it. That's his sanitation spray. And coming to the head, that is a more of a gas mask type, just with those two big circles on his cheeks. That's a pretty big light blue visor, though I think it's not painted all the way to the trim, but it's not that bad. It's not horribly incomplete. Nice red crest and red crest, tri-crest, split throat. White and red stripes. Might be a similar evocative pattern or something. He has a sizable backpack, but I do like how the truck does fold up 90 degrees so that it does give a smooth curve to it, so it doesn't look like too much junk. And the back of the legs is obviously the top of a gas tank for the truck. His only accessory is this nozzle gun. This, I guess this big tank. This entire thing is a gun, and this is supposed to be a container. It's also ratchet swiveled. Yeah, this really doesn't look much like a gun or a tool, which you have to rotate around, then rotate it over his fist. Yeah, so he has a little spray bottle, but don't look it from this side, otherwise you see the combining hollowness. Yeah, it's a simple tool for the spraying and sanitizing stuff, in addition to his chest cannon.
How did you not think of flat side front?
Maybe it would have liked for this to be a longer nozzle. For the articulation, he has a nice swiveling head. Transformational upper hinge. Or, lower hinge. Yeah, nice soft ratchets, 3 clicks. Transformational butterfly joints that does compensate for his usual lack of bicep swivels. And friction outward and the 90-degree elbow bend. No wrist. No waist on that really short stacked torso with the orange Carbot symbol, but he does have nice 6 ratchet click forward. Not much in the back because of the kibble, but you can get out of the way. That is for transformation, I guess. Nice friction splits. Thigh swivel all the way, and the toe down. Yep, the typical articulation with the typical no bicep and waist. But yeah, but at least the shoulder joints are nice. Typical leader class size or leader size commander. For the transformation, we'll start with the upper body. Head down and then flap down. Arms out. And then arms forward on the double joints. Yeah, nicely compact there. Yeah, the skirt flaps fold all the way here to cover the armpits. And that's the entire lower half of the truck. Hinge down. We have feet up. Hinge this out first, then hinge that. Yeah, I guess this is like not perfectly 90-degree bend. Click in, clap out, click. Get that nice solid click in there. And then that truck cover just covers up his entire butt. And then weapon storage. There's a clip on this tank here. Just kind of get it between the arms. This is some sort of cleaning sanitation.
Disinfection truck or fumigator truck. A sanitation truck is a garbage truck.
Of a futuristic fictional kind. Yeah, with a very long headlight with a long streak that goes all the way across. Kind of invokes the modern Hyundai designs of cars. Also, these secondary lights. Big bumper there, big long grille. Yeah, this windscreen has a little white paint scratch dent on here that's not a speck. Big silver painted mudguard here, some details on a stepladder. That's a pretty sizable tanker. That's a nice detailed tanker truck with a nice little ridge step here. Some hoses that go all the way across here. Different rotations of dials here in the both details, nice. Come along to the back, and the illusion's kind of broken with the obvious feet hinges. At least this tank is looks like these are supposed to be double barrels for spraying out and back, so that's a nice double usage of the weapon or tool. And of course, two giant cannons out in the front to spray whatever is directly oncoming. Get some bugs out of the way. A light blue and orange painted siren. Yeah, just warn incoming pedestrians. Rolls pretty nicely, but do I see a fake wheel? Two fake wheels on a 50+ toy? I mean, I would expect cheap wheels on like a smaller toy, but not a big one. I mean, did they really run out of budget that they just made these solid? That's disappointing to see on this pretty premium 헬로카봇 toy, you know? I guess the back is semi-realistic. Maybe the proportions kind of throw me off with the front cap. Maybe this looks a little too big. And or this cannon is just very big and obvious. It's very big and high. Yeah, if the proportions were tweaked, this would look more realistic. This is kind of somewhat realistic if you squint at it. I mean, the back half and the front half just kind of clashing a bit, in my opinion. But it's a nice toy truck and a rare type of truck. Size comparison with a tanker truck. The G2 Optimus Prime without any over-the-top 90s stickers of Optimus Prime using fire retardant foam to put out a fire, not starting a fire. Common misconception. Yeah, but this seems a little too small for the standard large car robot scale. So I think he fits better with the perfect 1/24 scale. And of course, he's not quite a big truck as the big man truck Stormax. And then digging out my old box of individually packed 2020 헬로카봇 axes. But compared with the other Pentastorm axe cars, it's car size. This is a pretty small truck, all things considered. It's just a car exactly as wide and long as a car. Now to combine Life Axe with Pentastorm Axe, which should technically be the 2023 version. but that's just a minor redeco of some parts. This should work just as fine. So he splits into two. First you pop off the arms, and then the entire truck front, which also detaches like that. Then reattach the arms together. That's kind of loose. Should be secured by putting it onto the truck front. Yeah, I think I have to make sure the claws are facing this way, like this, so that the hollow bit is outward. And for the other half, I guess you flip out this whole barrel out in front, splay out the wheels that don't exactly lock in. They kind of soft lock in, so that should stay in place. Yeah, I think it's just hanging out like this. And then, yeah, these holes on his legs, that's been there the whole time. That's where the cannon goes, the canister goes. Yeah, so that's the other weapon mode. In the hollow canister, there is a little clip here, which should clip onto, like, and the pre-existing hand and Thrawn Axe's hand, giant hand. Okay, that seems secure enough. And then the other hand, this entire hollow section, it kind of slips over like a mitt. Basically like a big old mitt. There's also a little tab here to slot into that Sky Axe's hand. Like that. Pentastorm Axe Life Cannon mode, where Life Axe becomes a Target Master, a dual split Target Master. Guess we got a C-Con Piranha-Con situation here, 6 extra member as a gun. Except he can't be changed for a limb. In one hand, we got the sanitation gun, which is kind of flopping on that hinged bicep swivel. And so, yeah, hopefully the shoulder ratchet holds it up pretty nice. This is still a pretty strong ratchet. You have just a big old cannon for spraying power, or sanitation power rather than firepower, but maybe you could shoot really strong streams of water. In the other hand, we got the Quattro Claw. Big old extendo slashy thing. It's lighter than the cannon, of course, but it's a claw with hands, robot hands sticking out there. Not very convincing of a claw. Would have really helped if these hands would have been able to fold in, but then that would probably get in the way of the clips. So you just have visible hands. It also would have helped if the sides of these were painted red, so it could give them more the illusion of a claw. So at first this just seemed like some sort of extra energy beam blaster with energy projectiles coming out of these claws. But this is supposed to be some sort of melee weapon. I don't know, that really does feel like just extra vestigial parts just slapped together into some slapdash weapon to hold in the other hand, while this is the main weapon. Giant truck cannon. Can he double-hand it? Maybe. Sorry, I don't know where the axe goes in all this, with both of his hands filled. Maybe it feels mixed up that this canister, which is its own accessory, is basically holding this entire thing. This big main gun is literally hinging on this tiny little part. While this weapon, while like the less of priority, this has more integrated combinations than just this add-on to an add-on. You know, I was worried about this really falling off, but this actually clicks in pretty tight. Not sure how to go about wedging it off. I'm afraid of breaking it. Okay. Yeah, you need some quite pull, but that's locked in pretty tight. But still removable, you just need a lot of strength. So that was Life Axe, one of the first new Carbots of the smaller hellokabbot Season 14, and maybe an interesting backstory, just largely more interesting because he just didn't come from Watch. He was kind of a lost Carbot recovered, at least. And as for the toy itself, it's okay. It's an okay toy. It's just this pretty much standard Carbot stuff. Although this one's a little proportionately weird. but I guess he's a more interesting type of truck. And while the alternate mode might just be a plain truck, at least it is a different type of industrial working truck. And it has a simple but interesting transformation, like being entirely upside down and then legs folding over like this. Yeah, I guess aforementioned proportions aside, this is a decent, nice little truck. I imagine in the idyllic Carbot world, he helped suppress any sort of worldwide coup that could have happened and prevented it. Though his full retail price is a bit more than the typical 50. For some reason, I just went for the full retail price on this one instead of the usual sale online prices. Yeah, so I guess at the retail price, max retail price, it might be a hard sell because I guess this thing is doing a few more, but it just feels smaller than those typical $50 Carbots. And I guess the only way they can see to make Pentastorm X relevant again in the show is just giving him more toys to play with, literally. Yeah, this was a pretty standalone combined on its own, and then 3 years later, they just give him an extra combination that's just more weapons. Not sure how well this holds. I mean, yeah, I guess the strong rockets still hold pretty nicely, but it could be a little clumsy. This giant cannon could be a little clumsy at times. Yeah, also with a less convincing other weapon. Do you think it's encroaching on something when you have these 5 main staple characters that's been there since the beginning, and then you introduce a 6th member that's only with the 2nd new form? Life Axe gets to be the 6th member, but not Hawk Axe? He just still standalone? Did Life Axe ever have a life before? Was he just life at some point? Could he have been a Hyundai tanker truck? If you missed out on the original Pentastorm Axe, then you might as well go for the full 6-in-1 set, the Life Cannon set, while supplies last. If you already have the Pentastorm Axe, whether from the Korean one or the Chinese one. I'm not sure if the Chinese one will be exactly compatible with this one, but otherwise you could just only need to get Life Axe if you just want to give him big guns. Otherwise, he's just a okay-ish standalone toy truck. Maybe the proportions are a little weird. Maybe the truck is not that remarkable. It's not doing much for you. Anyway, I guess as a standalone truck, it's just so-so. At least it's a unique type of truck, but still. Signing off with a life booth and the next Carbot X.